introduction needed, but Realest one, what's going on? What's going on? You know, I really hate, damn near despise when people stare, but they don't say nothing. You know how folks just be staring at you? You might not catch them at first, but you turn your head to take a look at what, you know, to see what's going on. You see it for a couple of seconds from your peripheral view. And then you turn and look at them, and then they don't say nothing. And you looking at them, they looking at you, like you done lost your damn mind, looking at you like you butt-ass naked with no drawers on or something. And it's like, well, you wait for me to speak or something? You was staring at me. I wasn't looking nowhere near your way. I'm just talking about when you at like a market. I mean, I'm just saying it's something that's always been ignorant to me. If you gonna stare at somebody, looking up and down damn near, then say something. You know what I'm saying? Just say something. That's all I'm saying. It should be looking crazy, especially when it's another man. I'm not about to stare at no other man up and down, fam. You know what I mean? I barely do that to women because I feel like they look at it like it's kind of creepy. A lot of these fools, they don't care. They'll stare at a woman for a whole minute straight, won't say nothing. They just checking her out. I know that shit be coming all creepy to like, you know, I'm getting twisted. I get my look on and everything, but I know how to handle that. I know how to control that. The only time you catch me staring is that if it's a woman and she fine, you know what I'm saying? But try not to do that too much either. Anyway, to the ladies, y'all might want to calm down with them BBLs, man. Y'all might want to calm down with them BBLs, you understand? Like, I had heard about a situation, and I knew that them things were dangerous, but it's crazy when you really go and you do your research, right? So I had heard about this girl who had got a BBL. Girl wakes up, ain't have no damn kidneys. And I'm thinking that that's one of the only few cases, right? Especially in recent time. You know them shits is dangerous as hell. I go type it in, looking for that specific case to see the details. Boom, like a whole long list of situations where females went and tried to get a BBL. They end up waking up, their organs and shit all gone. Dying to be beautiful. Dying to be beautiful. I'm so glad I'm a man, because it's like this here. For us men, you know, I mean, there are men who do have things done there. I do know of some men celebrities who have had BBLs and shit, but it's like this. For us, the most simple route, if we want to get right, is to hit the gym and stop eating certain things. You understand? Anything surgical to make myself look better, look different, enhance, it's out the picture. We ain't doing it. Push-ups, sit-ups, you get my daily intakes of water. They say drink up to what, 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. That's how it go. I put it to you like this. I was literally drinking like 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. You know what I'm saying? I could have did it a little bit healthier, but I was so desperate to get rid of the weight. You know what I'm saying? Which I did. You know, you ever seen somebody who had all this weight on them and then they lose it and it looks so different that next time people see you, it's like, you don't even know that was you. It was that type of thing, you know. We know that y'all do it for yourselves when y'all have these things done, but we also know that there's some that do it because of they want to be found attractive by other men, which is the saddest shit. If you are going to do it for you. If you're going to take a chance like that, put your life at risk, at least make sure it's for yourself. But even then, I say any real one going to appreciate the stretch marks, the stomach, the thigh, all that. We already know what it is. Beauty is only skin deep at the end of the day. But don't kill yourself. Like, just don't kill yourself trying to look good. I merely had a conversation with somebody about this. The word feminist, right? What is a feminist? Now, I'm not going to lie. Before I actually this is why it's important to do your research. This is why it's important to look certain things up and get an understanding. At one point in time in life, I just knew that the word feminist was in relation to a woman who hated men or despised men. At some point, long time ago. before I actually looked it up to see what it meant. Because when you look up the word feminist, that's not what it means. It's not a female that has anything to do with hating a man. You know, there's still men who think that. There are men who still feel like the word feminist means a woman that's against men. That's not what it is, though. When you look it up, it says something completely different, right? So to the men that don't know that, it don't hurt to do your research, pick up a book or type some words in. You understand? Kind of had this conversation just slightly with somebody. As a man, though, I can understand why some men have that perspective. And that's based on my own experience. Because for the longest time, even when you look on an app like this, it seems like anytime you have a woman who associates herself with the word feminist, right? Feminism and all of that. It always seems like there's just a little bit more to their agenda. Like, yeah, they want to see women, you know, get their equal rights. They want to see women be respected. They want women to be protected. They want to uplift women. All of that. All of that is great. All of that is fine and dandy. But sometimes, I'm not going to lie, it's like probably like 60, 70% of the time, these same women, it's like they hold like grudges towards men. There's a female on here. There's a woman on here. I forget her name, but she has a big following, actually. You know, the ladies follow her. They like, she's a lesbian. You know, she got a bad little girlfriend and everything. You know, I mean, I forgot her name or whatever. But the best way to describe her, since I can't think of her name, the best way to describe this woman, she's basically a female version of Kevin Samuels. Now, I know y'all remember who that is. Well, some anyway. Kevin Samuels. I'm not going to violate the dead or nothing like that. R.I.P. to him. I never had a problem with the man. But I'll say this. I didn't respect his take on things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be a hypocrite about it. I don't like to see women talk down about a man, but I don't like to see men talk about women. That would be so hypocritical to say, why you always talking about men dragging men and then go listen to a man drag a woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, when this dude was alive, you know, I had to go and see for myself what he was about. Because I heard that he was making females cry. He was like breaking them down and shit. And it's like, what's the reason for that? So I had to go see it for myself because I'm like, yeah, Gary, you know, he passed away. I don't know if you're talking about the Kevin Samuels guy or the female, but they basically one and the same, just different genders. But as far as Kevin, he had passed away. I want to say, what has it been, 2-3 years now? Because I had heard so much about this man, I had to go and watch him. And I seen for myself that he was really disrespectful. He was like really ignorant. This fool was off his rock. I'm trying not to call the dead man a fool. Let me take that back. But y'all understand what I'm getting at. You know, he's very disrespectful, very ignorant. And you can tell that he lived for making these females feel like shit. That's her name. Yep, that's her name. Queen Priscilla. Yep. I found out about her like, I want to say a year ago. And when I'm listening to her, I said, oh no, I can't listen to this. That she's basically the female version of Kevin Samuels. I don't know what the woman's goal is. I don't know what her specific agenda is. Obviously, she's all for the women. So I tried to give her a chance. I tried to just understand where she was coming from, but I couldn't understand by the end of it. I just couldn't understand. It's like something had to have happened to that woman, which happens in a lot of these cases where women turn lesbian and they hate men. There's usually a reason for that. I understand that people do things for certain reasons. When you got a woman who is a stone cold lesbian and they take every chance they can to talk down on men, something in that woman's life had to have happened. And it's even scarier if nothing did happen, because why are you like this? There's nothing wrong with being about women, uplifted and all of that. All her content is devoted to any situation that she can find where a woman has been like the victim of anything. She touches on it. I remember when I remember the brick lady, you know, the brick lady who said she got hit by a brick and all of that, which, you know, a lot of people had their doubts about that from the beginning, because it's like no blood. You got hit with a brick, but there ain't no blood. I mean, tell me you actually got hit with a brick and just your face swole, but you ain't got no scars or nothing. And what happened when that shit went down? A lot of the content online is not natural. Basically, people telling you to hate and never trust the opposite sex. That's exactly it. Like, there's no other agenda than that. And that's why I didn't respect anything about Kevin Samuels. Like, you just up here violating what he was getting paid good money to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had a nice little platform over there ripping these women asses up, man. Going back to the brick lady. When that situation happened, what happened after that? When you have a woman who's usually a victim in a situation and the video goes viral, what it turns into is black men versus black women having different debates, different perspectives, and it just get out of control. There's men who, a lot of men got put on the spot because they were being asked that question, would you have helped if you were there? And a lot of them kept it so honest that a lot of women didn't like the answer. Some men was like, if it's not a woman that I birthed or who birthed me, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't share the same blood with, then I might not have jumped in there necessarily. There were men who were saying that, and a lot of women didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't like that. And it was like, look at this. We being attacked by the same people who's supposed to protect us. That narrative started going around and all of that stuff. Yeah, right, Gary. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Even though, I had my doubts myself, I couldn't really even talk about it or do content on it too much because I'm like, there ain't really nothing to really say, because I feel like anybody who got common sense know at least enough to know, give it a little time and you're going to see something come out talking about, yeah, old girl was lying. She had ended up, getting money from, what do you call it? GoFundMe, is it? She ended up making money from that. I don't know how much, whatever the case is, whatever. She was all about women. And she was like, the videos, I think, of her kind of like bashing men, talking shit about men. You understand? So you mean to tell me that you dislike men so much that you would frame, you would do that, you would make up a situation just so you can put the blame on black men and start this whole thing that had happened after that? It was black women tearing our asses up for weeks and for months after that. Say, oh, y'all ain't shit. Y'all here beating on women. Y'all ain't helping. All of that. You couldn't go nowhere on these apps just like this, YouTube. You couldn't go nowhere without men and women having that conversation. So what would you have done? What would you have done? What you got from that is this lady really disliked men so much that she had no problem. Did she ever apologize for even making that shit up? Did she ever apologize or anything? I don't remember. But, it's a shame. The woman was in the hospital and everything. She was filming herself in the hospital. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's kind of like the boy cried wolf, except it was the girl that cried wolf. All these women jumped on her side, believing that she really had got hurt. But at that point, it became bigger than that. It wasn't about the woman who got hit with a brick. Men and women, black men and women specifically. When we see these type of situations go viral, we be looking for reasons to kind of like go off on the other sex. So when some black women see a situation where a black woman like didn't get enough help in a situation or, something like that, a lot of them women are already kind of like scorned. And they be looking for a reason to get in our ass anyway. Some Diary of the Mad Black Woman type shit going on. It's crazy. She didn't apologize, just disappeared. Yeah, she disappeared. Nobody see her, man. Nobody seeing her since. See how that go? But it's a shame. The only thing to take away from that is, to the women who are in such an outrage, understand the whole situation. Wait to see what happens first, because this is the era of the internet where people don't care what they got to do to get a little bit of clout. For a video to go viral, a motherfucker will sell their ass. You hear me? They'll sell their own mama out if they can get a viral hit on the internet. Is it sad? Absolutely. But is it a fact? Absolutely. But anyway, I don't like that shit, man. If I'm not going to listen to a man bash a woman, I'm certainly not going to listen to a woman bash a man. You know what I mean? It's like rallying up the troops over there, some shit. It's like getting together some type of clan or something. You got to do, let me tell you something. To influence people and make people believe and stand by everything you're saying as the host, all you got to do is have a little bit of personality. You understand? Relate to those people. Have a sense of humor. Have a personality. And when you have a sense of humor, you can make people do just about anything or something like that. Y'all ever heard that before? They say when if you can make people laugh, you can make them do anything for you, or some shit like that. But if you pay attention to a lot of these platforms, these people, they probably, some of them probably some ain't shit ass motherfuckers, but they got personality. They got personality, and they got people supporting them, spending their baby milk money, sending it to their damn Cash App and their damn super chats and all of that because they like the way they saying it. You understand? But because they made them laugh when they said it, and they have a personality, they have a way about themselves, they have charm, that's enough for them to support it. They might not stand for everything that this person is saying, but they're slowly inching like towards it a little bit. You understand? All right, I'm gonna bring this home. It's like kind of like milking the fact that these women had negative experiences with men. You know what I'm saying? And she knows that anything she's saying over this not going to be debated. She knows what to say to make these women nod their head yes. Like, who ain't had a bad experience with a man? I bet you haven't met a woman in the world who won't tell you every experience she had with a man was positive. And just like you're going to meet a lot of men, and there's not one man in the world who won't tell you that. That every experience I had with a woman was positive. I just say that to say that's no reason to hate a motherfucker. That's no reason to hate the opposite sex because, you know, maybe 2 or 3 people that you met on the opposite gender side did you wrong. Because even if you haven't met that person yet, trust me, there are good people out there. I can name some shiesty females I met in my days, but I know better than to sit here and to treat other women like shit because they wasn't shit or because they tried to do me dirty. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing to do with them. But some people do think like that. Like, build the women up. Make the women feel good. You know what I mean? Make your case and your point. But why do you have to do it off of the back, you know, off of the facts of like, you can't build those women up without knocking up the next black man down. And that's not to be respected. How can you respect it? There's still that debate that goes on sometimes between men and women. Like, what is a feminist? You know, I seen somebody explaining it to a man in the comments the other day. Because the man was coming at her saying, oh, you one of them hating ass women, you a feminist or some shit. He didn't really understand what the word really meant, so she explained it to him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men still believe that word feminist just means, oh, that's a name for a woman who hates a man. That negative aura is always going to be connected to that word feminist. Come on. Something ain't right with that. You ain't got to talk shit on a black man to get your point across. You ain't got nothing good to say about a black man at all. Ain't your father black? God damn, ain't your grandfather black? You ain't got no brothers. And just make you think, you know, and it's really a shame, man. It's a shame that some women, and they'll tell you, I don't hate men. I have nothing against men. They'll say that all day. But all you got to do is have a conversation with them or watch them have a conversation with another man. And you can see it. Like they're snappy. They try to downplay the man's intelligence. They're ignorant towards them. You know, like you think that you're more than that man. Obviously, you don't think he's the prize out of the two. Who started that shit right there anyway? That whole, which one is the prize, the man or the woman? Like, these are tactics to keep black men and women going against each other. Hell, shouldn't we all be the damn prize? I mean, I get it. There's some ain't shit people out here. I get it. Out of the man and the woman, it's just a matter of which one is more of ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we all got baggage. Ain't nobody perfect. You know what I mean? Dude, they're not doing black people no good at all. You hear me? They're really not. What is their message? That's how you'll come to terms with if what they're doing is genuine or not. What's their point of it all? Are they trying to give advice to bring people together? If you spend your knowledge, but in order for you to get every point across, you have to use a black man as an example, and in a negative way, then something ain't right with that. I don't respect it. I don't respect it at all. But you know, when you got a platform, it's like I say, it's all about the influence, fam. It's all about that influence. Anybody can have a damn microphone. Anybody can have a platform. And when you got that, then comes the influence. And when a motherfucker got influence, let me tell you something. I strongly believe you give the wrong person, or I'll say this: if you were to mess around, give the right person some influence and a platform, that person can be liable to start World War 3, 4, 5, and 6. I say that to say it's all about the intentions. What is the intention of the person? They only care about one thing: making their quota, getting theirs off the top, making money off of the people who are making money. Am I tripping? Or should it be possible that they stop men and women from having these platforms where they bash men and women? Should that actually be a thing, or am I tripping? Let me know. Because they're not doing nobody any favors. Them women's mind is already in a, you know, when they think about men, they already think negative. So when you got a person like that pounding in their head even more, basically saying, hate all these niggas. That's what she basically saying. That's what I get from somebody. You know what I mean? Like, it's about black love. That's what they say. But you have a woman who's in a relationship. Maybe the relationship is rocky. Maybe it never wasn't perfect. Maybe she want to work it out with her man. She mess around, go listen to somebody like that. She come home, she looking at her man, all types of different. I was listening to Priscilla last night, and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on. Shit. I want to ask this question. How far is crossing the line on the internet? When you have rivalries, these beefs and shit like that, I sit here and I say it, you know, it sound good, right? It sound good. You know, like I know. Because you can't have a platform like this have the just all positive. Oh no. How would they ever meet their quota? How would they ever make their money? There's got to be a negative to this shit, right? I purposely do it and religiously. How far is too far on this internet? Just the internet in general is disrespectful. The internet will always be undefeated. But that's definitely a big part of it. What's like, how far is too far when disrespect is the thing? You slap me, I punch you. You understand? You push me, I stab you. You understand? You spit on me, I shoot you. It's all in the same. If you did it to me first, I can't go. There's no such thing as me going lower than you. There's no such thing as me going higher than you. It's simply me just returning it. That's all it is. You can't say I did you wrong because I feel like you did me wrong. Just because you think it was a small thing on your part does not mean that that's what I think. Somebody gets punched and they shoot that person. Did they take it too far? Or should they just not have punched that person? That's just one example. Because when disrespect is on and popping, you got to be ready for what the reaction is. I feel like in any situation where I get into it with another man, my energy and my adrenaline is already up as high as it could be because I'm expecting this to go anywhere it could go. The minute I get into it with another man, I'm already thinking about where it could go. It only takes 5 seconds for somebody to do 5 or 10 years and when someone come for you. You can't tell someone how they can respond. A simple shoulder bump can turn into a man taking out a damn sword and chopping off somebody's hand or some shit. You know what I mean? Because if you pay attention, if you've been around like me, you've seen situations play out. It can start out so small. Somebody could have had their sneaker stepped on. Certain places, that's a no-go anyway. New York is one of them places. You can get your ass from even accidentally stepping on somebody's shoe. Ask yourself that, man. How far is too far?